Hello there and welcome to Music is Your Friend. This is a special episode about a trick that you can use to, reduce or even eliminate noise bleed on stage. This is a special episode of Music is Your Friend where I'm actually here to talk about gear, and not just like regular gear, but stage gear and brilliant inventions that you can use. And today I'm going to talk about a cool product that you can use in order to eliminate or reduce all of the mic bleed that you can find on stage. If you're in a band and you want to improve on your live sound, this may be the product for you. If you're an owner of a club and you care about your live sound, this is also a great product for you. It's a little investment that can help all of the bands that play at your club sound a lot better than they used to before. Because let's face it, one of the biggest enemies that you can find on stage is mic bleed. Mic bleed is when you have a singer who's on the stage front and center, and basically his microphone is not only picking up his vocals, it's also picking up some guitars and some bass and some drums and some cymbals and actually other stuff that can occur on stage. The thing is that live you don't only have one vocal mic, you have a whole bunch of other microphones that are set around the stage. Normally there's a few of them on the drum kit, and then there's a few of them that are miking the amps and the bass, and sometimes you have backing vocals and all of them have a mic. So that's a lot of open mic on stage, and that can produce a whole lot of problems. You can't prevent all mic bleed, but you can prevent a lot of it by just using simple mic placement techniques. You can use different microphones that have a different pickup pattern. You can use different baffles and gobos on stage. You can even use one of those like plexiglass shields for the drummer. But there's another trick that a lot of sound guys use, and that's gating the microphones. So what's mic gating? Well, gating is when you have a microphone, say I'm singing into a microphone, and then, the signal comes out from the microphone and it goes into a little signal processor. That signal processor basically decides whether the signal is gonna, pass through that processor and hit the front of house. The thing is that gating mechanism is not actually too clever. More specifically, it's actually triggered by loudness. So if there's a loud sound source on stage, the microphone is gonna pick up the signal, the gate's gonna open, and that's gonna hit the front of house, and you're gonna hear that through the PA. That actually works a lot of times, but a lot of times it doesn't. See, if the microphone is not picking up enough loudness, so for example, this thing is open, that wouldn't open the gate. But if you just came up to the microphone and started singing backing vocals, like whatever, that would open the gate. Now, most of you guys don't have pyro, but actually pyro can open up a mic gate. So if you have any vocal processing, you actually don't need an explosion going into your microphone, and that's like blasting through the PA. And if you have some vocal processing of that mic as well, that microphone can pick up and produce some really crazy sounds. But more common than pyro, loud cymbal hits, solo boosts on guitars, members of the band jumping on stage, people tripping over the mic stand, there are snare hits, and a whole lot of other things that can actually open the gate from the microphone. If you didn't have a gate, the only logical thing to do was to cut the microphone, just mute it on the front of house mixer. But that can create more unnecessary work, and if the sound guy doesn't know your songs, then some of the backing vocals might not actually hit the front of house. Usually microphones that pick up the most unwanted sounds are the ones that are used by backing vocalists, usually people who are playing within the band and their microphones are, in the front of the stage, and they're picking up the drums and they're picking up, half of the back line and a whole lot of other unnecessary shit. Up to a couple of years ago, this problem actually couldn't be solved. But then, the Germans came. A German engineer called Axel Just of Axel Just Electronics made the Optogate. The Optogate is a little device that you plug into the back of your microphone, and that device actually determines whether the signal needs to pass through or not. So if you're, say, a guitar player and you're doing the backing vocals for the song as well, the microphone remains closed until you approach the mic. So when you're really close to the mic, the Optogate actually sees you, and then it opens the microphone, and then your vocals can pass through. Otherwise, the microphone remains closed. In all other situations, the microphone is gated, and there are no unwanted sounds that are hitting the front of house. It's just brilliant. Now check out this photograph, for example. You can clearly see that this band has a few instruments playing on stage. Check out the vocal microphones. The bass player, the guy on your left, you can see that he has an amp. You can see one on the far left. It's pointed towards the bass rig and the drummer. You can see another microphone on the right side. It's right in front of the guitar player, and that one is also pointed at the drummer and at the guitar player's rig. The lead vocalist also plays the guitar, so half of the time he's not even on the mic. If the lead singer moves to play a guitar solo or to jam with a bass player, that microphone is picking up the entire drum set, but most of all the cymbals. So these microphones would directly profit by having the Optogate, and this band would sound a lot better. The same company also makes a whole bunch of other products that are useful to the front of house sound guys and live sound engineers of every sort. But their kind of signature product is the Optogate PB05. It's made from aircraft aluminum, so it's really durable and sturdy, and it's really simple to use. There's a button on top of the device where you can actually bypass that whole device, or you can turn it on. And when you turn it on, there's a little trim pot, and that little trim pot regulates the distance between you and the microphone, so the gate actually knows when to open the signal. You can tell if the unit is operational because there's a little status LED light right in front of you. And just like in the studio, if you see a little red light, it basically means that it's recording or it's working. There are a couple of different versions of the product. The PB05M is the regular edition that cuts the signal for 42 decibels. The PB05D reduces the signal for 16 decibels, and that's beneficial to people that use in-ear monitoring, because people that use in-ear monitoring don't want their in-ear mix to sound like they're in a bathtub. They usually want some stage noise within their in-ear mixes, so they don't feel too isolated from the rest of the band and from the crowd. The PB05E is basically exactly the same product, but it only works with dynamic microphones, and therefore it's a little bit cheaper. You can use this product with condenser microphones as well, because the Optogate doesn't retain all of the phantom power and it passes it through to the microphone so the microphone can work. If you use a microphone which is not of the handheld type, like the Shure SM7B or the Shure Super 55, there's a product for you as well. It's called the PB07, and it actually clips to the remainder of the microphone or the mic stand, and it works exactly the same as the PB05. For these products and a whole bunch of other cool products, just go to optogate.com and check out Axel Used Electronics. If you want to find out more about this really cool and brilliant product, just follow the links that are in the description below. Remember, life's too short to listen to bad music. Keep it brutal. Music is your friend, so choose your friends wisely. Me and the local resident German are out of here. Adios, guys.